Oh, it is so cold, but something cool happened today. And I'm gonna show you. Get a Sharpie. Nonetheless, I don't want to waste a bunch of ammo, so we're gonna go straight to double checking our zero. And how I'm gonna do that today is I'm gonna shoot 3 rounds at one target and let the gun cool. Then I'm going to shoot 3 rounds at another and let the gun cool. And I'm gonna do that 3 or 4 times. And then we're gonna go compare our groups, and it'll tell us really if we have a shift that we need to make, or if we're just close enough to what this rifle is capable of. Because I think I'm just I have my hopes up too much for this rifle. I think this rifle is easily a 1-minute gun, and more average than not it's a half-minute. And I think I'm trying to chase that pure consistent quarter and half, but I think it's more than likely a 1-minute gun, especially with factory loads. Bubble up. Perfect. One. I'm not even paying attention to the groups. 2. 3. Okay, we're gonna let that gun cool down, and I could see I'm shooting maybe a half-minute high, but I'm not gonna chase that yet. I'm gonna do a second group, then a third group, and then we will determine if we need to move. All right, we let the gun cool down. We're gonna do group number 2 on a new target. So keep that in mind if my groups start fading left. One. 2. 3. That was a really tight group. I saw it. We're gonna let the gun cool down. But at this point I am getting a consistent high. That one was actually, all those 3 rounds were slight right, high and right. All right, third group, and then we'll go see what we gotta make adjustments on. Environmentals are going to change your bullet's trajectory. A lot of different air density going on, different temperatures. The environmentals are just completely different than what we've had. You know, last time we were out shooting, we were in 37-degree weather in the middle of the day. Very, very cold. And now it's 65 degrees. So, yeah, we're gonna be having a little bit less air density on the round, so it's going to impact slightly higher. So that's not a surprise. Okay, bubbles up. One. 2. 3. All right, guys. So here's my first group right here, which from a cold rifle, that was just high. Left and right wasn't really a factor. Then my second group right here, that's 1, 2, 3, and we're high and right. Then my third group, after another cool down, 1, 2, 3, high and right. So I came down 3/4 of a minute and left half a minute. So the next groups, I'll shoot here, here, and there. I do have to say, this rifle, by far, it gets hot fast. So letting it cool down is definitely where you want to be gathering data, checking your zero. If you got a hot gun and you're shooting, it's pretty erratic. Maybe when I get that new can that is like 8 times lighter than this other one, hey, I'm probably gonna get a little more muzzle snap. But maybe when this barrel gets hot, this heavy stainless steel can on the end might be, when this barrel warms up and everything's expanding, this might be messing with the barrel harmonics when the barrel gets hot. Could be. So the lighter can might allow this gun to shoot a little hotter before it starts getting erratic. I don't know. It's going to be a test. But regardless, letting this gun cool down and just really shooting 3-round groups at maximum and then letting her cool down seems to be the most consistency. After all, it is a hunting rifle. You know, it's not really designed to go out and, you know, shoot a match. So I can't really dock it for that. It's designed where, you know, the first shot when it's dead ass cold is the most important shot. And so it's, you know, for 3 rounds and it's stacking them the size of my pinky nail, it's doing good. Alright, so we moved a half minute left and 3/4 minute down. And we're gonna repeat our steps. So one, two, three. Let's go take a look at that. All right, so my next ones were here. 1, 2, 3. That stringing was probably me, because everything else is tight. Next group, aiming here, 1, 2, 3. So I was like, okay, now I know I need to do that last 1/4 inch down, and I had to move it another half to the left. And then my last group, so after these two were very consistent, high and right, like I said, the rifle's being consistent. So I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna move it. Third group, 1, 2, 3. I like that. So what we're gonna do, turn this box, I'm gonna draw a new square, and we're gonna do a couple more groups just to make sure it's shooting tight like that. And if it is, we got our 0. So when you're shooting for a 0, you want to shoot 2 or 3 groups, because if I was to shoot that first group of the day, and with that first group, I could have been like, close enough, some for me, you know. Well, when I shot the next 2 groups, they were consistently high and right. So that could fall under a number of things. 90% of the time, it's the shooter, right? That first group, the group was bigger. They weren't tight. So I could have been doing something. And then when I settled in and was shooting, doing my part consistently, everything's high and right. So then I go and move it after those two because they're both high and right. See what I'm saying? If I would have shot another group and it's sporadic, and then another group and it's sporadic, now I'm gonna have to account and realize that my rifle, A, might not like the ammo I'm shooting, or B, that's just how the rifle is with its accuracy. And now I need to do math and consider how many are in that zero range and how many are out of it will determine which way, left, right, up and down, that I need to move. But if you just shoot one group and then move your stuff, you could be shooting differently, you know, and you're just gonna be chasing yourself around in a circle and burning a lot of ammo. Believe me, I've been there. And the second thing is, it will show if you are shooting consistently. The rifle's gonna shoot consistent for the most part, most rifles. There's a lot of things shooting 2 or 3 groups are going to uncover and letting the rifle cool. It's going to, A, it's going to let you know what ammo your gun likes. B, it's going to let you know if you are doing something wrong as a shooter. And lastly, it's going to just 100% confirm where you need to move your dials. But now I got that, so let's double confirm this, and then we'll run her out to distance. So guys, this is a great example of realizing. So here we are. These are the first groups I was shooting. Look, high right, high right, high right, high right, besides that one, but you know, I'm consistent in there. I get it where I'm like, that looks like a good zero. Okay, let the gun cool, climb back behind the gun. Here's my first group. Boom, boom, boom. Right there, I was like, what in the world? You know what I mean? So I come up here, load a new one. This is my first shot. Boom. Immediately, I'm like, I am doing something wrong. The rifle, there's not a loose scope. My suppressor's not getting loose. You know, I check that every time I get up. I am doing something wrong behind this gun. I have changed. So I reset, I get up, resettle behind the gun, make sure I'm hip squared behind, make sure it feels like it does every time I shoot. And then I held here, I was putting my crosshair here, boom, boom, boom. Okay, so now I know exactly, like, okay, that's a quarter minute left, right? Let's just bump a quarter minute left and a quarter minute down. I'm all over the top of this holding here. So I just made my adjustments. We're letting the gun cool, and then we'll shoot this one here. And then after, if that's dead on afterwards, I'm gonna draw a square here. We're gonna do a 5-round group into it just to test the consistent accuracy of the rifle at that point. But I'm making sure my zero's on, and I'm making sure I'm shooting right, so I'm not getting sporadic. If I go here and all of a sudden I have one out here and then the rest in here or up, you know, after making my movements, I'm gonna shoot another group and reassure that I am not shooting different. It takes a lot to factor in if you are the problem. A lot of people are so quick to shoot right here, aiming here, and that first round hits here, and the first thing you stand up, you start wiggling your scope, and you're like, ain't no way, dude, ain't no way. First thing you should consider is, what am I doing different? You know, because once I settled back in, look at my groups. So that is what we're after. And you shoot a deer and elk maybe 300 yards, you might not have to go through this process as deep, right? In my case, you know, my day rifle, I'm planning on shooting coyotes. You know, that what I do with my day rifle, what I enjoy more, at night I like calling them in close. In day, you know, I enjoy calling them, but more than that, I like shooting them at 800, 900 yards. You know, so my objective of precision is a lot higher, because a coyote is a tiny animal to be shooting at 800, 900 yards. I need to ensure that my 100-yard zero at exactly 100 yards, not 101, not, you know, 102, because my ballistic calculator, I put in there that I'm zeroed at 100. It has to be 100 yards. And I'm making sure that I am dead zero at that. Because shooting at a size of an animal like a coyote at 900 yards, if you're not exact zero, it will cause a miss. And with deer and elk, you know, I've shot big herd bulls with 6.5s out to, you know, 600, 615 yards, I think was the furthest. And then we've shot the furthest mule deer with Creedmoors out. It was a 720, and that's like maximum bitter edge. It was perfect conditions, you know. That was like as far as you're gonna go with a Creedmoor, probably, that I would recommend. Some people may have done further. I wouldn't shoot further than that. But regardless, when you're chasing that distance and killing, and you're gonna be confident you're killing and knowing your rifle's hitting, it takes some dedication. It takes some ammo that you got to use, and money to buy that ammo. It just is what it is, guys. Whatever your guys' objective is going to change how you do it. This is not the way. This is a way that I do it, and that's what I want to show everyone. So I hope that helps and mitigates some comments of like, oh, I go out and shoot 2 rounds dead on, and I kill elk at, 700 yards. Well, if that works for you and you know the rifle and you've had it your whole life and shoot it, that's cool. This is just a way that I do it to confirm and trust that my gear is doing everything right, so that if there is a miss, if there is an issue, I know down to my core that 99% of the time, if that is what happens, it's probably my fault, not that thing's fault. But for me personally, it takes a lot of time behind a gun to determine that that gun is doing everything it's supposed to, and the rest of everything relies on me. So that's what we're doing here. That's the whole purpose of this. Everybody says that your rifle is just not a half-minute gun. I'm not searching for my gun to be a half-minute gun. I put 99% of the blame on me, the shooter, if that's what I do. But regardless, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was the one. As soon as I touched that off, like while I was literally pressing it off, I was like, I kind of don't feel the same behind this gun. And then that happened. I was like, yep, that was me. But regardless, I'm happy with that. That is a 0 to me. If I can cover those for the most part with a pinky, that's a half minute, 1 minute, whatever you want to call it. I will take that all day long. So let's stretch this sucker out now and do a muzzle velocity confirmation. Here we go. Impact. It hit the left edge exactly where I was holding. Beautiful. No wind. There it is. And this is a little guy. Okay. Woo, she sounds good when she gets hit.